Welcome to the Billionaire Belief Show. This is Dane, and I'll be your guide today. Thank you for tuning in. Billionaire Belief is an entrepreneurship developing guide that shows you how to make the transition from student to CEO so you can build a profitable and professional business you love to own that works without you. Today's topic is two critical emotions that fuel entrepreneurs to business success. Let's dive on in. The previous episode, I talked about how fear and greed are two emotions that keep entrepreneurs from ultimately succeeding in bringing their entrepreneur vision to life. And we talked about how we can control that fear by using a simple exercise that allows us to write down what we fear. Then we are able to think about what we believe or feel will be the most probable outcome. Then we're able to talk. Then we think about the likelihood of this bad outcome happening. And last but not least, we then write down what we will do to avoid this bad outcome from happening. But there's another layer. Now I wanted to save a whole episode to talk about it because you will always have the fear. You will always have greed because part of the human experience is that we have these emotions just within us. But we have to be conscious of what our emotions are so that we can be in the driver's seat and ensure that we are not allowing our emotions to be used to our own detriment. And the way that those emotions are used to our own detriment is because our thinking is guided by emotions. So if we are unconsciously living in fear, unconsciously living in greed, then we are ultimately working against our own best interest. So it will be in our best interest to be conscious of our emotions at all time and understand how to regulate them so that we don't become the obstacle that keeps us from achieving our goals. And so today, I want to just talk about if we aren't going to be living or thinking through fear and greed anymore, then what are we going to be thinking through? Because we can't have nothing there in a sense. There's always going to have to be some emotion there. So that's why we want to take the time to be consciously aware of these things so that we can choose the emotion that is going to best serve us in our journey to achieve our goal. So, what are the two emotions that I am talking about? What are we going to use to prevent fear and greed from dominating our thoughts to the point where we operate in a manner that is to our own detriment? Well, both of them start with a C. And those emotions are confidence and courage. Confidence and courage are way better emotions to think through than fear and greed. But how do you know that you're thinking through fear? How do you know that you're thinking through greed? Well, anytime you think for to make it simple, anytime you find yourself worrying about money, for example, man, you have some big bill, you're worried about paying a bill, you're worried about not having enough money. Like that's how you know fear is guiding your thinking. That's how you know you're thinking through fear. How do you know you're thinking through greed? Because the moment you get your hands on some money, you start convincing yourself about all the nice things you deserve to have because of some, phantom reason that you just conjured up in your mind to justify, why you should spend this money that you now have on things that you don't necessarily need, but you believe is going to make you feel better because now you got the money to buy it. But so that's how you know you're thinking through fear or you're thinking through greed. If you're worrying about money or you're worried about how you're gonna pay your bills, if you're worried about how you're gonna cover some expense, if you're worried, like you said, if you're worrying about money, then that's how you know it's the fear that you're thinking through. And it's the same thing with the greed. You go from worrying about how you go pay for something to now, once you get some money in your hands, then you start thinking about, well, man, like that new shiny toy that I wanted. I got the money for it. Do I really need to pay these bills? That's how you know if you're thinking through greed, or just this insatiable desire just to have these nice things just because. You know what I'm saying? So fear and greed, like don't think through fear and greed. So you want to think through confidence and courage. And so let's talk about that. Confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. It is a firm trust. So in this case, since it's just you, that means that it's not necessarily someone that we're going to be relying on. It's going to be something. Now, what is that something that we can all have confidence in? That something is ourselves. That something is us relying on knowing that we are willing to put the work in to figure out the things that we need to figure out to get from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C, and then on and on and on until we get to point Z, and then we start all over again. So you are the thing that you can rely on, because as long as you have air in your lungs and you have sight in your eyes and you can get up, you got your extremities, your arms, your legs, you can walk, then you got it. You're winning. You have everything you need to succeed. So you gotta rely on yourself, and don't get caught up, as we talked about before, in assigning hard levels of difficulties to things because you just don't know what you need to know at that moment in time. Because I know a lot of you might think, oh, well, I can't rely on myself. I can't have confidence in me because I know me is imperfect. But the reality is we're all imperfect. Every human being, that's the one thing we all have in common: imperfection. So if other individual human beings are able to have confidence in themselves, then that means you can have confidence in yourself. It's just a matter of if you, as it says, believe. Again, confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. So it's a feeling that you can rely on yourself, or it's a belief that you can rely on yourself. So if you don't feel that you can rely on yourself, then just believe that you can rely on yourself. And by believing or feeling that you can rely on yourself, again, don't get caught up in thinking to yourself, like, for example, if you don't know how to tie your shoes, as a simple example, don't not have confidence in yourself because it's like that you don't know how to tie your shoes, because you're not putting confidence in what you know. You're putting confidence in you in regards to you might not know something, but you have the mental faculties and every other tool and access to this thing called the internet. You got access to books, you got access to people. So that's why you just have confidence and you rely on yourself. You rely on your ability to go figure things out because you have that ability. Every human being has the ability to learn and figure things out. So that's what you have confidence in. And moving forward, you no longer say you don't know how to do something. You say, I haven't done it yet. Shouts out Rick Rubin. I haven't done it yet. So moving forward, it's no longer I don't know. So because I don't know, I'm going to assign this extremely hard level of difficulty to this task. And because now, I believe that this task is going to be hard, then I'm just not going to do it at all. Because what's the point in doing something that's hard when I can just do what's easy? And it's just as simple. And just like that, that would be you thinking through fear. So how do you think through confidence? Again, I might not know, but I can figure it out. I don't feel up to it, but I can figure it out. I might not know how to tie my shoes, but what I do know is that I know plenty of people who do. So because I know these people who do, and I know I have access to the internet, I can go on YouTube. I believe and I'm confident that I'll be able to tie my shoes. So as when it comes to business, again, a lot of what you're gonna have to know in order to succeed when you first get started, you don't know it. In the beginning, you don't know it. When you're an early stage entrepreneur, you don't know it. You don't know necessarily the path. You don't necessarily know the process. But you can still have confidence in yourself. You can still have confidence because again, you rely on your ability to learn and figure things out. So have confidence. I was thinking earlier today how there used to be there for all of us we have this moment where we are so easily it's like we're looking whenever we don't know something and we automatically believe it's going to be hard. It's like we part of the reason why we're doing that is because we're trying to avoid looking bad. But that's something that you're going to have to get over. You're going to have to get over this thought or this feeling where you're concerning yourself about others seeing that you made a mistake, others knowing that you made a mistake, others knowing that you don't know something. And you're gonna have to get over that emotion of because again, that's the fear. You're gonna have to work through that fear and in a sense, be confident. Because again, if someone's talking smack to you or trying to clown you or make fun of you, because you don't know something or because you made a mistake, then there's a strong probability, not a possibility, but a strong probability that that person doesn't know it themselves. So they're making fun of you because, in essence, it's like they're, in a sense, it's like they're laughing at themselves through you, if that makes any sense. Because again, they know that they don't know, and they know that they don't have the confidence to do what you want to do. But since they just don't want to, since they don't want to look bad, since they don't want to feel like they're looking bad, they're just going to point the finger at you. So again, be confident and put your trust and reliance in your ability to learn and figure things out. So no matter what you have to do, because again, especially if you're an early stage entrepreneur, in the beginning, you're not going to know what to do. You're just going to know that you have this great idea, and you're going to have a desire to start a business and build a business of your own around it. But you're also going to know that you have a problem. It's like you don't know where to get started. You don't know like what steps you need to be taking so that you do the right thing the first time around. And again, you're worried about quote unquote wasting time more than likely, and so that's why you're just telling yourself like, oh, I might as well not even try because I don't know and I don't want to waste any time, and because I could be doing better things with my life. But if you truly believe in your idea, and then if you truly believe it could bring value, and you truly believe that it is your duty to not to make sure to ensure that people don't have to experience the same problems that you had to endure before you made the discovery that you made that led to you having this business idea that you now want to turn into your own business. Again, confidence. You gotta have to be confident. You're gonna have to, rely and believe solely in your ability to learn and figure things out. And it's just like that, So whenever you start feeling any level of fear in regards to you start to worrying about like, oh, I don't know if I know this, I don't know if I might have what it if I have what it takes, or anytime you start to feel down and you like literally, you start off having all this ambition, this inspiration for your business idea, but then as you start thinking about it and you start telling yourself you don't know these things and how you gonna figure it out, and how you gonna go from nothing to something, and then you just start telling yourself, well, man, that's probably gonna be hard because I remember my friend Tony. He said that it was hard. Like that's when you start like psyching yourself out. So avoid that. Whenever you start feeling that feeling, just immediately you have to consciously regulate your emotions and snap yourself out of it and tell yourself like, you know what, self, no, you're don't buy into the fear, buy into the confidence, and because I believe and rely on my ability to learn and figure things out, and it's just that simple. So next, we talked about confidence. Now let's talk about the next emotion, which is courage. Courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. So again, courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. So frighten is a pretty intense word. Frighten is like beyond scared. You know what I'm saying? Frightened is just like I'm the hairs on the neck, on my back are standing up. I'm steps away from paralysis by analysis. I don't think I can move. Like I'm so scared. I'm frozen in a sense. Like that's what it means to be frightened, and it's like you feel it, in your gut, you feel it in your chest when you feel frightened. You feel startled because you weren't expecting something, and then it happens, and you just was like, you in a sense, it's like a mixture of like shock, awe, fear, all that stuff. But again, gotta have courage, the ability to do something that frightens you, because entrepreneurship in and of itself is frightening just on the strength of it being something that's not the norm. So operating outside the norm in and of itself is frightening. So don't be too bad. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yes, you are scared. Yes, you are afraid. Yes, you have fear. Yes, you feel the fear. But that's okay. You're supposed to more often than not. You're going. I'm not supposed to, but you're going to feel fear. You're going to feel afraid. You're going to be frightened when you're up against something that you just don't know. You don't understand. For example, you could take the most strong. You could take the strongest, most muscular man you could find in the world, and if you put that man with all these muscles in a situation that he's just unfamiliar with, then he's gonna feel frightened. He's gonna feel scared, and in some instances, to the point where he has paralysis by analysis. Because a lot of people think that, oh, it's this guy with all these muscles, then he's big and strong. He's not scared of anything. But the reality is like what makes us scared isn't necessarily our physical abilities. It's again us telling ourselves that, oh, I don't know how to handle this situation, and because I don't know how to handle this situation, then the most powerful outcome is I'm gonna lose, and I don't want to lose, and because I don't want to look bad, and I don't want to look bad, so then, like I said, we start to feel the fear. Because again, if you take again this strong guy, but he ain't had a lick of any sort of martial art training, any sort of self defense training, he don't know how to fight. And like you said, you can put that man in the alley with just some sounds, and that dude's gonna be scared. And if you jump out on him, he's gonna probably run the fight. Fight or flight. He's probably gonna fight, run the other way, because again, he's running the other way not because he it's like he's running away because he wouldn't know what to do in that situation. So not knowing what to do, the unknown, like that's what is more often than not the catalyst for your fear. That's why you got to have courage. You got to muster up that confidence to just put one step in front of the other, even though you know that you're frightened and you know that you don't know something. Because again, you're gonna have that confidence in your ability to learn and figure things out. So that's what's gonna give you the courage to move forward. Because you have confidence in your ability to learn and figure things out. All right? So be courageous. Entrepreneurship, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be rough. But you can't quit. You can't stop. Where victory and defeat meet is what makes you the champion that you are. Because where most people will stop, you keep moving forward. Where fear stops most people, confidence and courage keeps you moving forward. So don't think that when you see entrepreneurs doing things that they're just doing these things because they're they're some species other than human. They're human just like you, but they're just thinking through confidence and courage instead of fear and greed. Okay? So, to recap, confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on something or someone, and courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. So, there's going to be a lot of things that frighten you in entrepreneurship as you are navigating the transition from student to CEO. I'll be the first to tell you. Again, you're going to have 3 shifts that you're going to ultimately have to make. That first one is going to be from student to worker. That next one is going to be from worker to founder of a business. And that next one is going to be from founder of the business to the CEO. That's why you got to make the transition from student to CEO. But again, every master entrepreneur that you attach that label to, they started off as a student just like you. They started off not knowing everything. They started off not feeling afraid and scared of the task at hand. But through confidence, their ability to learn and figure things out, and then the courage just to move forward, even though they knew they were frightened, That's what allowed them to ultimately make that transition from student to CEO. Because again, everybody has to go, through the as they say, go through the motions. Nobody just gets to wake up as a student and then just you just decide I'm the CEO and then you're gonna be an actual CEO. Because yes, you can go start a business, you can say list yourself as a CEO or by just the nature, yes. And technically, we all are the CEO of our own personal lives. So, you're the CEO in that regard. But specifically when it comes to entrepreneurship, yes, so if you start a business, you file your paperwork, then yes, you will be the owner, the founder, the CEO of that entity. But just that doesn't mean that you know what it means to be a CEO and you know what it takes to be the CEO. That's going to take your business idea from idea to actual concept. All right. So believe, have confidence in your ability to learn and figure things out, and then be courageous. When you're feeling that fear, when you're feeling frightened, when you're feeling afraid, like move forward. Keep putting one foot in front of the others because you have confidence in your ability to learn and figure things out. Because you're going to be doing a lot of learning, you're going to be doing a lot of figuring out as an entrepreneur. If you didn't know that already, like it's like being an entrepreneur is like literally sign up to be a lifelong student, which is a good thing. So prepare yourself. Be prepared. Like you're gonna be doing a lot of learning. You're gonna be doing a lot of learning. But it's gonna be well worth it when it's all said and done. All right. So on that note, to recap again, two critical emotions that fuel entrepreneurs to business success are confidence and courage. Confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, and then courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. So moving forward, we're no longer thinking through fear, we're no longer thinking through greed. And you have to consciously catch yourself, check yourself out of those two emotions and consciously think and focus on confidence and fear. So how does this literally work out? So when you're feeling fear like in your heart, in your gut, in your body, and it's like you know what that fear feels like, or you find yourself worrying, you're thinking about stuff. Check yourself out of that immediately and think confident. So just start telling yourself you can learn and figure this out. 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 Self. You have the ability to learn and figure things out, self. So go learn and figure this out. So if like I said, if you need to know, if you're afraid of walking outside because you don't know how to tie your shoes and you don't want to trip and fall and hurt yourself, don't live in that fear. Have the confidence to learn and figure it out, and then the courage to actually put one foot in front of the other to learn it. Because again, like don't like I said, don't get caught up in worrying about people laughing at you, making fun of you because you're making mistakes, or you're asking for help. Wise men and wise women, they ask for help. And how do they ask for help? They don't necessarily say, "Can you help me?" They say things like, "Oh, your assistance will be greatly appreciated." Didn't that just sound better? Yo, hey man, your assistance will be greatly appreciated right now. I need you to show me how to tie my shoes. When you say it like that, that just makes that person want to help you. But if you just say, "Hey man, I need your help with something," like, "Oh shit, what you need help with?" Even in yourself, it just sounds different, right? So don't say, "I need your help." Say, "I would appreciate your assistance would be appreciated in a matter of urgent need to me." However you want to spin it, but your assistance will be greatly appreciated is the ultimate thing. That's how you ask for help. You ask people, your assistance will be greatly appreciated in this matter. Are you available to assist? Most often than not, people love assistance, so they're gonna say yes. All right. So on that note, again, confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, and courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. So think through courage and confidence, not fear and greed. So on that note, make sure that you hit me up if you have any questions, billionairebelief@gmail.com, or whatever platform you're on, feel free to DM me. Next, make sure you go check out if you have a great business idea, but that you want to turn into your own business, but you're struggling To figure it out, go ahead to billionairebelief.com so you can download the Beyond Aspiration Roadmap so you can at least be consciously aware of the process that you're going to have to go through and the things that you're going to have to learn specifically to get from student to CEO. That's going to be a free download. All you got to do is go to billionairebelief.net, download your roadmap. And then last but not least, share this. Everyone is going to have to overcome their sense of fear. First, they're going to have to be made aware that it's fear that is the cause as to why they're not moving forward, and so that they can learn how to overcome it, and then be able to operate and think through confidence and courage. So on that note, it's a pleasure as always. This is Dane. I've been your guide, and thank you for tuning in. Make it a great day. Peace.